today's video, we're going to discuss exams and dealing with competition at university. Hi guys, my name is Marisha Agarwal and you're watching Hoi Nederland, the University Survival Guide of the Netherlands from a university student to a university student. So yes, I am done with exams for a while now, although I'll be starting my master's in January end. So I will have to deal with exams again that time, but let me tell you that the reason I'm making this video today is because I personally struggle with exams a lot, to a point where I would shake or faint or even have a mental breakdown. Trust me, it's no fun, and giving exams is the worst part of university in my experience. So that's why I'm going to come up with 5 tips for you guys to deal with exams and competition at university when giving these exams, especially now because exams are almost in a week. So I hope this video helps, and let's get on with the tips. So I'm not really proud at saying this, but yes, I have failed exams at university and I've had to have resets, but that's okay because that only made me learn how to prepare better for my exams, and that's tip number 1, preparation. Personally for me, I do the best studying 1 month prior and then 2 weeks of intensive studying for that specific exam. Now, you can say all you want, everybody has their own ways of preparing and studying for exams. I know people who study from day 1 of the class, but I'm someone who procrastinates. Yes, I'm guilty. So all of my focus and all of my enthusiasm to study for the exam comes all the way at the end, because that positive stress is what basically keeps me going. So if that works for you, I would suggest making a 1 month plan, because normally the exams that happen in the Netherlands are in the same week. So you might even have 2 exams in a day or exams back to back, one after the other. So it's almost impossible to study for all the 3 exams one after the other, which is why you should also make a 1 month plan and try to organize the way you can alternate the courses so you don't get too mobbed by the same thing over and over again. So you made a plan to study for a month or 2 weeks or even the whole semester or the whole block. Great. The second step is, how do you actually study? So my tip number 2 is to make effective notes. Now I'm going to make a video on this in a more detailed other video, so stay tuned for that. But basically, taking notes effectively means trying to understand how you learn better and then take notes in that method. So for me, I'm a visual learner. I need colors, I need plans, I need mind maps, I need that kind of stuff to learn. So if it's a concept that I'm not able to grasp my head around, I'll try to make it a mind map or use flashcards or take my markers and color code them in the book. So basically take notes that are effective for you and that are effective for you to help memorize, because honestly, I've learned this the hard way. Memorizing the whole book from cover to cover is not going to help you in the exam. If you really focus on smaller concepts and get them down, you'll be fine in the exam. Especially if you have visual methods, it'll stay better in your head. So in the exam, when you're super stressed out and anxious and the question comes in front of you, you can just remember those colored methods or the visual maps, and you'll be much more calm. So speaking of being calm, how do you be calm in an exam situation? Trust me, it's very hard. I've tried, I've had enough breakdowns, I've had enough panic attacks to let you know that there's a way to actually remain calm before, after, and during your exam. That's your tip number 3, is to be isolated. So once you go to the exam hall, if you're gonna bike, that's the best thing you could do. You have your own me time, put your headphones on, put some favorite music of yours, put something calming if you like that, or if you're like me, put really fast music that makes you A, bike faster to campus, and B, get your adrenaline pumping. Now, once you're at the exam hall, do not talk to anybody. It might sound rude, it might be like you're missing out on something, you're not. You know you've done your preparation the night before, or the week before, or the whole month before, okay? So you do not have to talk to anybody and unnecessarily panic yourself by asking last minute questions or discussing concepts or sharing notes, because everybody, like I said before, have their own way of learning. So you might have the same concept on your paper, somebody else might have a more intense summary. That doesn't mean you haven't prepared. You've also prepared, you've prepared your best. So make sure you're completely isolated. If you really need to, then arrive at the exam hall maybe 5 to 10 minutes earlier, and then just sit in a corner away from everybody else and just put your head down and just walk into the exam hall, sit at your desk. That's it. No talking to anybody, not before, not after. So how do you stay calm in the middle of an exam? That's a bit tricky, but I have a small tip for that. What you could do is you have a watch, just make sure your alarm is not too loud, but set alarms for maybe every 30 minutes so you know exactly how much time you have left before the exam is over. And also what I do is I designate enough time per question. So in my head I make a small plan. Yes, the planner means talking again. I make a small plan on the side of my paper as to where I write down which questions need how many minutes, so I know how much time I need to allot for that specific question, along with some extra time to check my paper and extra time to start the paper. Now you must have done enough past papers at home to know what the format of the exam looks like, so you can actually have this plan ready to go before you even go for the exam. So all you have to do there is just wait, allot your time, and then in the beginning of the exam, go through the entire paper without freaking out and mark with a pencil which question you want to do first. As cliched as it sounds and as overdone as it's said, do the questions you know first. You do not have to go in the order. Luckily, you get enough papers, so don't worry about that. Just do each question on each paper separately and then order them later. Also, one way to save extra time after the exam gets over is to write your name and a student number on top of all the papers, so you don't waste time doing that after you're done with the exam. Because you want to save that extra time, the last 2 minutes also counts in rechecking. So definitely keep some time for checking, definitely keep some time for organizing which questions you want to do, and allot time to each question. And then you'll be on your way with spare time and no stress. So now that you're done with your exam, the first thing you should do is give the paper back to the supervisor or the person sitting at the exam hall. Put your headphones on and get the hell out of there. You do not want to discuss the exam after the exam is over, especially with your peers, because everyone's going to be competing and trying to see who's done better or what question has the right answers, and they're going to try to calculate, who's got how many points. That is not healthy. For 2 reasons. 1, if you do that, you're going to feel so guilty that you did something wrong, but you actually might be the one with the correct answer and they might be wrong. So just wait for your results and see what happens, okay? 2nd, what this does is that you're going to constantly think about your exam once you're home, on your way home, and when you're preparing for your next exam the next day or maybe that evening, So it's going to affect the quality of your preparation for your next exam. So your best bet would be to get out of the exam hall, and if you want, go ahead, go to the city center, treat yourself to some yummy food in the city center. You've given a really tough exam, you deserve a treat. So go to the center or go home and treat yourself to some yummy food. Take a nap, because these exams normally happen very early. You might not have gotten enough sleep the night before. Take a nap, get some yummy food in, treat yourself, give a call to your parents, tell them how the exam was if you really want to. Now, once you do that, be calm, take a shower, whatever it is it needs for you to unwind, and spend a couple of hours after you're done with that exam to completely declutter your mind. Only then, start preparing for your next exam the next day or later that week. So, how do you remain stress-free during exam season? Well, exercise. As crazy as it sounds, exercise really helps you because that ups your endorphins, so you're always going to be happy and not stressed out. Now, I know that it doesn't sound like a very smart idea because you want to have as much time as possible after class to study for your exams. Yes, I know, but your health is also important. So if you're not healthy, who's going to give the exam? Exactly. So definitely get in at least an hour of workout. It could be a morning workout on YouTube at home, or you could even go to the gym, or you can go for like a dance class or any other sporting that you like to do. But make sure you're out of the house for at least an hour, because A, it's going to keep off the extra weight from exam, and B, you're going to be happy. You can also plan a workout session with your friends if that makes you happier and less stressed. But don't discuss studies. Exam binging is real. It happens to everybody. But it's completely normal and don't feel bad about it. But yes, this is my tip number 5 on how to have food that is healthy, yet you can binge on, yet you can have your cravings. So what I do is I make sure not to have too much junk at home, but enough to treat myself. Make sure to always treat yourself when you're finishing a chapter or a subject or a concept, because that's what's going to keep you going. As unhealthy as it sounds, You can lose the weight, no problem. But it's better that you keep happy and you're not stressed, and honestly, food makes everybody happy. So if you want those bag of chips, get that bag of chips, because unless you're not going to be happy, you're not going to be able to focus properly. And if you're really craving something, your mind's going to be occupied with that the whole time instead of you spending all this time studying. So get your snacking, binging in, but at the same time have healthy snacks on the side, and please hit your nutrition as well. Having breakfast, lunch and dinner is very important, especially during exam time, because you're studying so much at once that your brain needs that brain food. So don't forget to nutrition yourself and stay healthy. So the exam atmosphere and in general classes can be very, very competitive, especially if you have group assignments. Now, how do you deal with competition at university? It's very different to each group, but the first rule is that you should never at any cost cause any damage to your own mental state, because competition is toxic. So what I would suggest is, if you really cannot resolve an issue with any competitive classmates or any competitive group mates, first talk to the professor or the coordinator of that course, maybe talk to your other students and see if you can switch groups with them. If that's not an option, talk to study advisor. There are also plenty of courses offered by universities where they can help you deal with competition, so definitely sign up for those courses because they're free. Secondly, competition is basically something where people want to one-up each other. That's no fun. You come to university to learn, so you learn at your own terms. Don't try to compete with somebody just because you're getting better grades. No. Set your own goal and compete with yourself, because you are your own competition. Having that said, competition with yourself can also be a bit traumatic, so make sure you have a nice balance between competing with yourself to improve your grades or improve the way you're learning, rather than trying to traumatize your brain and trying to rack your brains and trying to learn a certain concept by memorizing and spending late nights and affecting your health. So how do I deal with competition? Honestly, this is what I tell myself. If I do not do this course, if I do not pass this exam, what's that going to impact on the rest of my life? Not much, honestly, because that one exam is not going to be worth my mental trauma that I'm going to face for the next couple of years. And trust me, I have faced enough mental trauma from exams to a point where I've had to have therapy sessions and take medicines. It's not fun. So from somebody who's had experience with this, take this from me. No amount of competition and one-upping each other is worth your own mental happiness and your own mental health. Having said that, competition with classmates can also be positive, because that would make you motivated enough to maybe do better than a certain classmate or do better, and that's great. That's positive competition. But when the competition becomes negative, where you're kind of getting spite, or you're feeling like you're feeling strangled by other students or by the way people are performing better than you, it's not worth it. Like, I know for a fact that I've had classmates who are so high up there in their grades, and they always make me feel like, I'm a bit stupid. That's not nice. That's the kind of friends you want to have. So switch over your friend groups. Change friend circles. That's absolutely fine. That's how you're also going to make new friends in class, right? So definitely change friend circles if it makes you feel that unhappy. But having said that, you can also talk it out with your friend and tell them that, hey, listen, I don't appreciate the way you're talking about your grades and flaunting this and telling me that I'm stupid. It's not cool. Dealing with competition and exams is a whole other league, because there you're competing with everybody by giving the same exam. But again, you do not have to compete by looking at your peers and seeing, oh, who finished in this time, or who took that many number of papers, or, looking around the exam and seeing, oh, they're on this question already, or like if I'm lagging behind. No. You're competing with yourself, and you're only gonna get those grades for yourself. No one's gonna look at if you did better or they did better in that certain exam. It's the overall picture that counts, and especially in the Netherlands, they look at the growth. So let's say your grades are not that great now, but in your next exam sessions you increased your grades. That's much better than having somebody have consecutively 10s on their grade and have no growth. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel in the link down below. So dealing with exams and competition varies from person to person, and I hope that these 5 tips really helped you. They definitely were life-changing for me. So if this was something helpful, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in my next video, because I have more exam-based content coming out this month, especially because exams are right around the corner. So, good luck for your exams, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye!